Hi, this is Kurt from Fermentation Adventures. I just recently we were having a discussion on the BrewTubers Club Discord about Brewfather and some features that we really enjoy using in in the software. I get really excited about the inventory feature and the batch feature. These are two features that really help me manage my grain inventory and help me prepare for brew days. I'm not going to throw out the cliche that it's a game changer, but those are two huge features that once I saw them, on top of the full cloud enablement of the software themselves, that really led me to migrate over to using Brewfather instead of Beersmith. So I figured I'd put together a quick little discussion, a quick little tutorial on how I use that software and how I use these features. So more on that in a sec. So I wanted to start here with the inventory feature. As I mentioned in the intro, the inventory itself was kind of a killer feature for me when I found Brewfather. Really, the cloud support, the inventory feature, and how that built into the batch mode was really kind of the game changer for me from moving away from Beersmith. So the inventory feature itself, I have a lot of malt that I tend to keep on hand because of my situation with a local homebrew store. I it's time consuming for me to get there in the limited time I have, and I tend to want to keep a lot of inventory on hand. So if I want to brew, if I plan on Friday that I want to brew on the weekend, I can pretty much go into my inventory and put a recipe together. Part and parcel of that is that I have a lot of things that I keep on hand. I store it well, and I keep good track of where I store it. As you can kind of see here, specifically with the fermentables, let me pull up an example of something I just bought locally. I bought a sack of a local maltster here, Thrall family. I put the entire sack in the inventory. It was a 50-pound sack. It cost $55, so I can track the cost per pound, so I can get the cost per release. I really don't keep up with that too well, but the one thing I do in here, I have a series of bins and I have a series of gamma buckets. That's what the GB stands for, where I keep the malt. So there's a 50-pound bag. This was spread across a like a 40 or 60-pound Vita Vault, whatever it is. So I get about 30 pounds in there, and then I put another 20 pounds into a gamma bucket and keep it sealed up. So similarly, if I go in to look at any other malt that's out here, something else from Thrall, I have a bin number 7, and I have about what it is, a little over 5 pounds of this biscuit malt in bin 7, sealed up in one or two bags, right? So this is the reason why I like the inventory, is that I can come in here, I can build my recipe based on the what I have on hand. I know how much I have, and then I know exactly where to find it when I'm putting my recipe together and pulling ingredients. You can see here I do put the locations in the lot number and in the notes, and I'll show you why I do that here now. It shows up, both locations or both notes show up on the selected fermentable screen. But if I jump over into the recipes, so yeah, I already have it pulled up here. So this was a beer I brewed recently. And if you could see here, I have all my malts listed out, I have my hops listed out, everything else. One of the cool features of Brewfather is if I scroll down here and go to this show stock, I can toggle that, and Brewfather will update and I'll show everything that I have in my inventory. So you can see here, since I just brewed this, I used up all my Simpson's grain, or my crystal malt in the recipe, and I don't have the yeast on hand. So, if I was brewing this again, I can easily go in and swap that. And I should note here, if you see the little eye icon, these, if you do a flyover on the recipe, these display the notes that were listed in the ingredient. So I can easily from this screen, I can, if for some reason I wanted to go find that malt, I can go in and look for it. Similarly with my hops, I do a similar thing. I do put additional notes in there, but you can see here, I do indicate where these hops are stored as well. Most of my hops are all in what I call the brewery freezer, which is my refrigerator in the brewery. That's full of hops, but I do keep some in the garage as well, a handful of those. But anyway, so again, the other cool feature, if I wanted to do a swap here, so I'm gonna, instead of using my Crystal 60 from Simpsons, I can go in here, do a swap for Breeze. And as well, I have my locations in here. Did I have the lot? Oh, the lot doesn't show on this screen, which is fine. But then I can save it, and again, I know where it is. Similarly, for the yeast, I can update that to, let's do S04-04. And I can say this time I'm using, a pack of Safale. Right? So that's cool. Very easy for me to put recipes together. Then the next good feature, awesome feature, which I like, and which was recently kind of currently dogged on it a little bit on the Brewlosophy video, but is this batch feature. So a lot of people can easily just go use the recipes feature and recycle the recipes and do it that way. But what I typically do, right, I have a recipe that's ready to brew. I click on the brew feature, and then I'm brought directly into a screen that really helps me put together my malts to make sure I'm not duplicating the malts and where to go to find them. So you can see here under the lot option, right? So this was something that kind of annoyed me a little bit, or I didn't really realize it. I was just using the notes feature and just putting the locations in the notes because, again, it shows up on the recipe screen. However, if I put the location duplicated in the lot screen, when I'm going through this checklist, the inventory checklist or the recipe checklist, I can easily go through here way out. I can, for instance, go to bin 2, I can pull my caramel Munich, I can weigh it out, I can, have it in my bucket that I'm going to use to grind the malt, and then I can check it off and the inventory gets automatically decremented. Similarly for the other ones, I can check them all off. And it's very easy, very quick for me to not be looking in every individual bin that I have. You can see I have 7 bins and I have like 10 buckets or up to 10 buckets depending on what I have on hand. Easy, super quick for me to put together my malt bill, pull together all my hops. Again, the hops are typically most all in the brewery freezer, but this is a good example because these old Fuggles, which I still use, are stored really well. They come out pretty great. And again, I don't think these Fuggles are 2015. I don't know why I set this date as 2015, but the EKG is definitely 2018. It's very easy to just pull them, put them in the recipe, and it's very easy to, when I'm pulling my ingredients, it's easy to find them. It's easy to know what I have on hand if I want to build a recipe, and it's all there. And then going forward, if I am planning ahead and want to brew a specific recipe, I'm compiling a new recipe, I can easily figure out what I need to order ahead. I mean, for instance, now the next time I'm going to be ordering any ingredients, I definitely would probably order some Simpsons or some crisp, Crystal 60, just to have on hand for these British beers. And similarly, I don't tend to version recipes too much. The other nice feature here is that if for some reason, if I'm in the midst of a batch and I want to call an audible, make a change, I can go in here and update the recipe. If for some reason I wanted to, use Crystal 80 from what's this, Great Western, I can throw that in the recipe and use that. And then this doesn't impact my original recipe too much, which, you can see when I was putting it together, I did update it. But I'll always have a copy of this recipe in the batch itself, and then I can go back and refer to the notes. All right, and I will finish off to give my homebrew club, the Brew Tubers, a plug. I love this club. It's a great group of guys. If you want to check us out, you can look us up on brewtubers.com. I should have already included this placard in here in the video itself before I got into the bulk of the discussion. But here's our sponsors: Imperial Yeast, Brew Wine Hobby, Beer and Wine Hobby, I should say, 5-Star, Brewers Hardware, and Yakima Valley Hops. Big thank you again to all of those sponsors. If you have any questions about our online homebrew club, Brewtubers, you can certainly drop a comment, drop me some sort of message. I should put the Discord link in the description of this video, and you can check us out. And that is about it. Like, subscribe, share, comment, encourage the community of Brewtubers. Not necessarily in the club, out the club. If you are your own Brewtuber, you just share, you love watching YouTube videos, let's interact with us schmoes that are out there making videos. All right, thank you.